was a sunny day on the island of Sodor, and all the engines were working hard. Gordon was feeling very excited.
Good morning, Thomas. I look my best, and do you know why?
Why?
Because a Duke and Duchess are visiting. Sir Topham Hatt will be choosing me as their special engine.
Pah! Puffed Thomas. After Gordon had been washed and polished, he rushed away to meet the visitors. But a signal diverted Gordon into a siding. He was very upset. "I'm going to be late," he muttered. A huge engine rocketed by. Steaming pistons! Who's that? Gordon soon found out. When he arrived at the shed, the huge engine was humming quietly.
Who are you?
This is Spencer. He's the fastest engine in the world.
Huh. But secretly, Gordon was impressed. "I'm the Duke and Duchess's private engine. I take them everywhere." Quiet. There will be a party for our guests at Marron Station.
That's far away over Gordon's Hill.
"You'll need to take on plenty of water," muttered Gordon. "I have plenty of water," wheezed Spencer. And he raced away. "I was only trying to be useful," grunted Gordon. Spencer showed the Duke and Duchess many beautiful places. But he never stopped once to take on more water. Gordon and Thomas were collecting passengers when Spencer raced through on his way to the party. "Don't forget the water."
Who cares?
"He'll be in trouble soon," sighed Thomas. And Spencer was. He ran out of water on Gordon's Hill.
Why didn't I listen?
Sighed Spencer. Sir Topham Hatt soon heard the news. "I'll send Gordon." When Gordon arrived, the station master was waiting. "You need to rescue Spencer. He's stuck on the hill." "Hurry, Gordon," said his driver. Gordon was looking forward to seeing Spencer.
Run out of water?
He teased.
Yes,
Snapped Spencer.
I must have a leaky tank.
Perhaps, smiled Gordon. But we'd better hurry. Everyone is waiting. Gordon switched to Spencer's line and was coupled up. Then they set off. "See," said Gordon, "we're right on time." Spencer was embarrassed. "What do you think of Spencer now?" whispered Thomas.
Too much puff and not enough steam.
"Well done, Gordon," said Sir Topham Hatt. "You are the fastest engine on Sodor." "I know that," muttered Gordon. was a splendid day on the island of Sodor. Thomas was taking Annie and Clarabelle back to the yards. A new engine had arrived and he wanted to say hello. The engine was beautiful, with shiny paintwork and a gleaming brass dome.
Thomas, meet Emily.
Hello.
Hello to you. Emily, collect your coaches, please. You and your driver must learn the line.
Yes, sir, she answered. Thomas was impressed. Later, the only coaches Emily's driver could find were Annie and Clarabelle. "These aren't your sort of coaches," he said, "but I suppose they'll do." Annie and Clarabelle felt insulted. "How dare he say we'll do?" Clarabelle whispered. Emily puffed carefully along the track. "How dare he say we'll do? How dare he say we'll do?" grumbled the coaches. Thomas saw Emily coming down the line, pulling Annie and Clarabelle. "Hello, Thomas," Emily called. But Thomas was cross. "Those are my coaches," he muttered. "Give them back." Emily didn't hear Thomas and she went on her way. Then Edward passed. And Percy. When Emily whistled hello, the engines didn't whistle back. Emily couldn't understand why they were so unfriendly. She was upset. Later, Sir Topham Hatt spoke to Thomas. "I want you to go to the docks to pick up new coaches." "New coaches? But, sir—" "Really useful engines don't argue," said Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas didn't want new coaches. He wanted Annie and Clarabelle back. When Oliver saw Emily return to the yard, he was surprised. "Those are Thomas's coaches." "So that's why he looked cross," exclaimed Emily. "I'll go and apologise." "Don't want you coaches, don't want you coaches," chuffed Thomas. Later, Emily was still looking for Thomas when a signalman flagged her down. "Oliver hasn't cleared his signal box," he told Emily's driver. "Please go and see what's wrong." Emily could see that Oliver had broken down on the crossing. Then Emily heard Thomas's whistle. He could see Oliver, and he knew he could never stop in time. Oh! Emily charged towards Oliver, and with a huge effort, pushed him across the tracks. Just in time. Later, Sir Topham Hatt praised Emily.
"Well, John, you were a very brave engine."
"The bravest," chuffed Oliver.
"It gives me great pleasure to present you with 2 new coaches."
"Thank you, sir," replied Emily. "I'm sorry I took Annie and Clarabelle." "And I'm sorry I was so cross," replied Thomas. Friends? Friends. Emily loves her coaches and being part of Sir Topham Hatt's railway. was racing across the island of Sodor. He was very excited, and he didn't want to be late.
Right on time, said Sir Topham Hatt.
Thomas and Percy looked at the big tank engine. He was very smart.
This is Arthur, said Sir Topham Hatt. He's here to shunt trucks and pull freight.
Nice to meet you, puffed Arthur politely.
And he's got a spotless record, Sir Topham Hatt added.
What's a spotless record? Whispered Percy. It means he's never been naughty or made a mess, replied Thomas.
The three engines were soon at work. Thomas and Percy were bumping freight cars.
They knew this was naughty, but they were having fun. Join in, Arthur, said Thomas. No, thank you, wished the new engine. He'd never been naughty before.
Arthur's first job was to push a trainload of fruit to market. The freight cars started to sing.
A root to tow, we want to go. The fruit's going off 'cause you're too slow. How rude, huffed Arthur. This gave Thomas a naughty idea.
Sir Topham Hatt doesn't like the freight cars singing, said Thomas. You must stop them.
Thank you, said Arthur. I will.
Arthur was glad he could keep the freight cars in order.
He'll never stop the freight cars from singing, laughed Thomas.
Arthur chuffed cheerfully through the countryside. Soon the freight cars started singing again.
Chug, chug, chuff, you tug and huff, but you're so rusty you can't even puff. Stop singing, huffed Arthur.
Freight cars should do as they are told.
The foolish freight cars were cross.
If they couldn't sing, they would teach Arthur a lesson instead.
We'll show him, they giggled. He can't push us around. Arthur struggled over bridges. And he huffed and puffed through tunnels.
He came over the top of a big hill.
You can't catch us, laughed the freight cars. Whee!
But there was trouble ahead.
Duck had stopped at the crossing at the bottom of the hill. Arthur's driver applied the brakes, but it was too late. Squashed fruit flew everywhere. Arthur was upset. His spotless record was ruined. Beep, beep! What a mess, puffed Thomas.
Sir Topham Hatt was very annoyed. What's happened here?
The freight cars were singing. I told them to stop, but they made me go too fast. Please, sir, it's my fault.
Thomas told Sir Topham Hatt what he had done.
Arthur, it's fruitless for me to say more, but Thomas, you must help clear up this mess. Harvey arrived with the breakdown crane. He could see there was a lot of work to be done. Everyone worked hard, and Thomas took the loaded freight cars away. That evening, Arthur was having the squashed fruit cleaned out of his funnel. "I'm sorry I played a trick on you," said Thomas. "Thanks for owning up to it," replied Arthur. "Maybe spotless records are made to be broken," smiled Thomas. "And then mended again," finished Arthur, "just like friendships."
I'm a busy engine, huffed Henry. Goods arrive night and day at the docks. Sometimes Henry and the other engines work so hard that their axles ache. Sir Topham Hatt brought in a new engine to help with the heavy workload. He was long and he had 10 drive wheels. He looked very strong. This is Murdoch. He's going to be pulling freight on the main line. Ahoy, Murdoch! Shouted Salty. Welcome, Murdoch, called Harvey. You're the biggest engine I've ever seen, cried Thomas. You're a chatty lot, Murdoch said quietly. Soon Murdoch was coupled to a long, long line of heavy freight cars. His boiler strained, his wheels started to turn, and the mighty engine chuffed away. Murdoch longed for some peace and quiet. But everywhere he went, it was noisy and crowded. At the end of the day, Murdoch was looking forward to a good night's rest. But Salty and Harvey were full of questions. What's the longest train you've ever pulled? Have you worked Marseille? Have you ever crashed? Please, Murdoch chuffed. I want some peace and quiet, and I don't want to share a shed with chatterboxes. No need to be rude, huffed Harvey. We're only being friendly, matey. The next morning, Murdoch collected another long, heavy train. This time he chuffed into the beautiful countryside. It was splendid. At last he had some peace and quiet. Suddenly his driver applied the brakes. There were sheep on the tracks. The sheep escaped from that field, said the driver. Through that broken fence. They tried to chase the sheep back. First this way, and then that way. They tried everything, but nothing worked. We'll never move these sheep by ourselves, complained the fireman. I'll go and phone for help, sighed the driver. Murdoch was very unhappy. The noisy sheep were spoiling his peace and quiet. Sir Topham Hatt was enjoying afternoon tea when he got the call. Sheep? He exclaimed loudly. I'll send Toby with the farmer immediately. The sheep were becoming noisier and noisier. Please stop, groaned Murdoch. I'd rather be back with the chatterbox engines. Just then, Toby chuffed into view. Toby, exclaimed Murdoch, we're certainly glad to see you. Before long, the farmer and his dog went to work. And the sheep were soon safely back in their field. And Murdoch was on his way again. That evening, Murdoch parked between Harvey and Salty, but Murdoch spoke first. I'm sorry that I was cross, he chuffed. I'm very pleased to share a shed with you. And we're pleased to have your company, said Harvey. Aye, we are, added Salty. It reminds me of a story. Murdoch smiled. The sound of bar, bar, bar would have kept him awake, but a Salty story would send him happily to sleep. It was a tingly spring morning on the island of Sodor. Thomas was excited. Sir Topham Hatt had sent him to collect a special from Jenny Packard. "Spot on, Thomas," Miss Jenny said. "You'd make a mother proud." "Thanks, Miss Jenny," he said. "Is this my special?" "Very special," she answered. "I'm Jack, the front loader," he whirred proudly. "I can load and unload and carry lots of things." "I can haul and shunt," boasted Thomas. "And I can get you two chatterboxes off to the quarry," laughed Miss Jenny. "Is this your first job at the quarry?" called Thomas. "It's my first job on the island," Jack called back. "Look out for Max," Thomas added. "He's trouble." Soon, Thomas delivered Jack to the quarry. All the machines were busy preparing the site for new railway tracks. Jack couldn't wait to join in. He scooted towards a big excavator. "I'm Jack, can I help?" "Oh my, no," Oliver replied kindly. "Help Byron." Byron the bulldozer was shoving rock and rubble with his giant blade. "I'm Jack, can I help?" "I don't need help," boomed Byron. "Try Kelly the crane." "I'm Jack," he whirred cheerfully. "Mind my paint," snapped the lorry. "Isabella," scolded Kelly. "Sorry, welcome to the pack." "And if you want to work," said Kelly. "See the foreman," Isabella said cheekily. "He's in charge." The foreman introduced Jack to his oiler. "I'm here to help you work safely," said the oiler. "No speeding and no horseplay," added the foreman. "Now go help Alfie." "Yes, sir," replied Jack eagerly, and he raced off. "Remember," called the oiler, "safety first." Alfie is an excavator. He makes the hardest job seem like play. "I'm Jack. I'm here to help." More help means more dirt. More dirt means more fun. "I'm Alfie." Jack and Alfie were working hard and having wonderful fun. Suddenly, a huge dump truck roared by. "Max!" Alfie cried. "So that's Max," said Jack. "Thomas was right. He is trouble." "Look out, Jack!" cried Alfie. Max stopped just in time. Jack refused to move. "Stop bullying," said Jack bravely. "Can't you take a joke?" Max grumbled and dieseled away. "Thank you, Jack," said Alfie. Then the foreman shouted, "Oliver, move this rock!" "I'll do it," cried Jack. Jack scooped a bucket full of rock. "Stop!" shouted his oiler. But he didn't stop. He was too eager to help. "No!" shouted Isabella. But it was too late. "Oh no!" he cried. "Oops," Jack sputtered. Miss Jenny was glad Jack wasn't hurt, but she was disappointed. "Safety first," she said firmly. "Means you don't rush in where you don't belong." "I'm sorry, Miss Jenny," Jack said sadly. "Maybe you're not ready for the pack," sighed Miss Jenny. "We'll see if you can do better tomorrow." After Miss Jenny returned to the yards, Jack was sad. Isabella could see he was unhappy. "You're a good front loader," she said. "And a good friend," said Alfie. "Being a good friend is important," said Thomas. That made Jack feel just a bit better. chuffed along the branch line, thinking about his new friend, Jack. "I hope he's doing better today," puffed Thomas. Yesterday, Jack had broken the rules and had gotten into trouble. The pack was widening the road beneath the old quarry bridge. Jack and Alfie were loading Max. Dust and dirt flew everywhere. Work had never been so much fun. Jack felt very proud. He'd worked hard, been very good, and followed all the rules. But he was still worried Miss Jenny wouldn't let him stay. Ned the steam shovel was cheerfully clearing rocks. Ned has a big bucket and a big heart. Sometimes his bucket is too full. "Careful, Bumble Bucket." "Sorry," said Ned cheerfully. Thomas couldn't wait to get to the old bridge. He knew the pack were working there. He could see how Jack was doing. Back at the site, the foreman shouted, "Oliver, this topsoil needs moving, now!" "I'll move it," cried Jack. "Jack!" Before anyone could stop him, Jack raced under the bridge. He was about to fill his bucket when he remembered Miss Jenny's warning. "Don't jump in where you don't belong." "Oliver," he said, "this is your job, not mine." "Thank you," Oliver said politely. "Well done, Jack," called Kelly. "Yes, well done," chimed Alfie and Isabella. Jack beamed proudly. Later, Ned was moving under the bridge. His oiler had told him to lower his crane arm. "I must be careful, I must be careful, I must be careful." Then there was trouble. Ned hadn't lowered his crane arm far enough. It knocked loose the important keystones. The bridge started to crumble. Thomas puffed towards the bridge, unaware of the danger ahead. "Thomas!" Jack jumped in and lifted his front loader up against the bridge. He pushed with all his might. Thomas saw the flagman. His driver applied the brakes, but it was too late. "Cinders and ashes!" cried Thomas. Jack didn't let go. Finally, Thomas's driver backed Thomas to safety. "Hold on, Jack," called Kelly, and he rushed to help. Jack couldn't hold the bridge any longer. "Are you all right, Jack?" "I think so." Thomas brought Jack back to the yard. Jack was afraid Miss Jenny would be cross with him. After all, he had jumped in and damaged his arms. But Miss Jenny was pleased. "Spot on, Jack," she said. "You'd make her mother proud. And the tank engine grateful," Thomas chuffed. "It's off to the fitters with you tomorrow, Jack. The pack can't have a front loader with bent arms." "You mean I can stay?" "I wouldn't have it any other way," Miss Jenny grinned. "We're a cracking crew," laughed Kelly. "And all the better for Jack's being here," said Isabella. "Welcome to the pack, Jack," cheered Alfie. Jack was so happy he couldn't think of anything to say, so he just revved his engine and bounced his bucket. As Thomas steamed towards Tidmouth's sheds, he felt very happy. "Yes," he said, "welcome to the pack, Jack."